Welcome to GOLT Talk, your podcast for technology and innovation in the legal profession. If you're searching for solutions to revolutionize your legal practice, you're in the right place. 10 minutes pure, actionable product insights from CEOs shaping the future of legal technology. And here is your host, Tom Pfennig.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to GOLT Talk, your podcast for technology and innovation in the legal profession. Today, I'm having the privilege of talking to Jeff Pfeifer, based in Raleigh, North Carolina. Welcome, Jeff, the Chief Product Officer of LexisNexis. It's a privilege having you here in the GOLT Talk. And Julien, formerly with Henchman, which got acquired by LexisNexis, as we know. He's now Director of Product Management at LexisNexis. Welcome, gentlemen, to GOLT Talk.
Great to be here. Thank you, Tom. It's great to be with you.
Likewise. As you know, this is a very compact format. We have 6 questions, and I appreciate you going straight to the core in terms of your answers. With a very quick introduction, we can segment straight into the portfolio of services within LexisNexis and use cases, unique selling points. That would be very interesting to the audience. Jeff, you want to start?
I will. It's great to be with you. And as you mentioned, I have the privilege of developing legal products for LexisNexis and have spent my entire career developing legal technology. Our products are really focused on ones that your listeners would know well, those that provide answers to important legal questions, but increasingly, we're focusing on workflow solutions, things that help individuals make better decisions, mine information sources that might be available to them. And again, increasingly, that means integrating with things they're working on in their own organizations to support workflow activities in places like Microsoft products and other solutions. So we'll explore a few of those today, and all of them increasingly are leveraging AI capabilities that help mine and extract new insights out of data that might not have been previously observable.
What I can add is one of those workload solutions that we are providing to the market around the world is Lexis Create Plus. It's a solution that lives within Microsoft Word and is really redesigned and introduced into the market earlier this year. The vision for Create Plus is really built around 3 core foundations. One, there's core drafting solutions right available in Microsoft Word, where lawyers are working on that new contract, that new motion. There's key proofreading and formatting solutions part of that. The second pillar, it's all leveraging a lot of the capabilities that Henchman brought with the acquisition, the connection to the DMS, so connection to your precedents. And then a third pillar is some of the most advanced AI capabilities that Lexis has to offer is included in that platform as well.
DMS, Julien, give us the full explanation of the acronym, please.
Definitely. So DMS stands for document management. So typical DMSs are iManage, NetDocuments, OpenText. It's basically the place where all of the documents are stored within a law firm.
Super helpful. Now, on the AI side, as Jeff already alluded to, can you give us a little bit more flavor, more depth? What does it encompass in the product suite of LexisNexis?
I'll start here by saying that I've been developing product now in legal markets for over 35 years, and rarely have I seen a technology that is married so well to what lawyers do every day. Large language models and generative AI in particular help lawyers draft more efficiently, help find information that may exist in a large data collection, may help you summarize voluminous bits of information. Again, so tailored to what a lawyer does every single day. So we at LexisNexis have been working on integrating generative AI capabilities like many over the last few years, and working with key partners to help lawyers do one thing now, which is have early success in leveraging these new capabilities on what may look like very mundane or pragmatic tasks. So as we think about leveraging the technology, number one, it's most important to identify the use cases where we see real pain point in the way someone is trying to do something today. And number two, where they can work directly and effortlessly to implement the technology to help them again, get better insights, draft something faster, more efficiently, find information that might exist within a data collection or repository. So Julien and his team have been working to apply these AI capabilities, for example, in the way lawyers draft documents. They can get alternate clauses to include in the draft of a document. They can look and get the entirety of the document and leverage AI to find out where there might be drafting errors or omissions that are important to consider in the drafting of a document. So at a high level, again, we're looking at leveraging the technology, hopefully in ways to the user that require little effort on their end and are intended to help them see the power and the capability of these technologies in the way they execute their job tasks.
And I would just add, beyond the contract and DMS capabilities, legal research obviously is being revolutionized as well with the AI features. I've been using LexisNexis in my legal studies in the US 30 years ago almost. So this has gotten to a huge new level. Can you add maybe an additional use case in that very space?
Absolutely. I mean, in fact, that's actually where the significant majority of the users interacting with our AI are using the technology today. We launched about a year and a half ago a product called Lexis AI, and it allows a lawyer to ask a question of our services in a very conversational way, like you might a question to a colleague. And the intent was to really improve on an experience that has been in place for now decades. We built our reputation around search, but I often like to say no one really wants to search, they want to find answers to questions. And so our application of AI has really been focused on exploring exactly that. How can we create a more conversational experience between the lawyer and the service and get more substantive, comprehensive answers to legal questions? So we now have more than a quarter of a million lawyers around the world using our AI services in line with research questions, in line with asking follow-up interaction questions that might help them get to a legal answer more quickly and conduct whatever that next activity is that comes in the workflow.
Excellent. I think we've covered a lot of ground on the first questions, unique selling point, use cases. Now advancing to the next pair of questions, partners, both in terms of your user base or technologically, and competitors in your respective verticals.
Right. So I'll comment quickly that in order to execute AI technologies in particular, partner relationships are critical. And we like to think of these relationships in a few key categories. First are those cloud vendor relationships that we maintain that allow us to deploy AI technology in a safe and secure way. Lawyers obviously have important obligations related to legal privilege and ensuring that their interactions with an AI service are private and confidential. So the relationships that we maintain are primarily with Microsoft and Amazon's AWS service in order to deploy the capabilities leveraging AI technology. We then have adopted a multi-model AI strategy, which means we maintain discrete and developer relationships with key large language model providers like OpenAI, Anthropic, and Mistral. Those are the three that we have leveraged most extensively within our technology infrastructure. And doing so allows us to make sure that we get very early access to new generations of large language models and AI service capabilities. We work to develop specific solutions to legal market use cases so that our customers benefit from that collaborative development. And then the third, I would really highlight our partners within our industry. So for example, document management system players like Julien mentioned earlier are very close allies. We work with them very closely to ensure that we're interacting with their services in the most efficient way possible, and that we add value to the subscriptions that our customers have with solution providers like iManage and NetDocs and OpenText. So many key relationships there that are necessary in order to support the product vision that we talked about. In the future, I really see this expanding. There are many data supplies within organizations that might be things like their SharePoint infrastructure or other key information like time and billing data if you're a law firm, for example. And so mining those insights, bringing to the table the technology development that we've built that allow our customers to be able to extract the kind of insights that they're looking for, really relies on key technology partner relationships, third-party relationships, like I mentioned, and then access to the data supplies. I really think that's the thing we'll be talking about over the next 5 years, which is how do we unlock all of the value in these discrete data supplies that exist throughout an organization. We are in probably the most dynamic legal tech time that I can recall in our history. Lots of startup activity means every single day there are new providers that are working in all of the areas that I mentioned. But honestly, I think that really helps the ecosystem of legal technology because it means that we're seeing lots of great development, lots of new aspirational targets, and that helps us stay on our game and make sure that we're developing the next generation of solutions for our customers.
Great. So we talked about the partners on the DMS side, a few competitors.
So in the competitor space, obviously, we have traditional competitors in the data space, for example, that we compete against respected brands like Westlaw and Bloomberg, for example. And in the workflow solution space, we compete against a myriad of smaller competitors. Our focus, though, is working to marry the best of both. The traditional data solutions that LexisNexis brings to the table, again, with a greater focus on new workflow solutions like Julien articulated earlier.
Speaking of Julien and the Henchman history, obviously it's a contract lifecycle management tool as well that was acquired by LexisNexis. So that category in and of itself is a service that is competing against others in this segment, right?
Our focus has always been supporting lawyers or enabling lawyers who are negotiating and drafting complex contracts. We're expanding that vision to supporting litigators this year as well. But I think the Henchman's capabilities have now been integrated in the Global Create Plus offering, and that is a product that has a lot of other solutions as well, so proofreading, formatting capabilities, access to Lexis content, sort of the premium content that Lexis offers, and AI capabilities. And I sort of see a very comprehensive contract drafting tool in the market now that really can support lawyers with any task while they're drafting.
I would suggest that the biggest competitor that any company developing in this space faces is usually an existing way of working. And that is often manual or often tied to internal workflow tools that have been built and developed over long periods of time. So when we look at an area like contract drafting, for example, our competitor comparison is usually some existing in-house, self-grown way of working. And so what we're often talking with clients about is how they look forward and examine new ways of working without at the same time being disruptive to the way lawyers work. We want to make sure that when we introduce new technologies, it's with an eye on making sure it's an easy to deploy technology, but it's often challenging the way people have been working for a long period of time.
Absolutely. And perfect segue, Jeff, to the last pair of questions, cost and implementation effort. You pick the order, but obviously people want to know how much do I have to budget for and how long does it take to onboard my team in whatever service I'm contemplating using LexisNexis technology.
Of course, we have a wide range of products and a wide range of subscriber types, and our subscription rates vary depending on the type of organization you are, how big you are. We generally sell all of our tools and services on a seat basis, meaning there's a fee for the individual users of those solutions. If you're accessing our online solutions, which many of your listeners know well, those can be up and running within hours, either a trial or a new subscription. On the workflow side, we pride ourselves also on getting those up and running very quickly, often within 24 to 48 hours of working with a firm on a specific workflow objective. We sell those products as well on a per seat basis, usually as an add-on to some other product that they subscribe to from LexisNexis. And those services generally range in the fee area of about $25 a user per month to add on those kinds of workflow capabilities to a subscription that they have from LexisNexis. So as we think about it, number one, we want to make that pricing straightforward, easy to understand. and the deployment of those capabilities to be as quick and painless as possible. We do a lot of planning directly with customers to understand what are they trying to achieve, particularly with drafting solutions, thinking about what kind of data would you like to inform these drafting solutions. But the processes that we've developed really make it easy and efficient for an organization to get those capabilities up and running quickly so that users can experiment and begin thinking about how they incorporate those technologies into their daily work.
Super. You are serving a number of use cases and it's a fairly comprehensive tool. One question I have on behalf of the audience, you mentioned as painless as possible. What is one of the biggest pain points that you see implementing the technology?
I'll let Julien comment on this because he's very close to this issue. But I would start by saying that many organizations have an idea of what they want to accomplish, but have often struggled to think about how do we point to various internal data supplies to create the most value. And so as Julien has worked with our customers, they have explored ways to do that efficiently and make sure that that setup process is painless and gets a lawyer drafting as quickly as possible. Julien, share a few thoughts on what you've heard from our clients in this area.
Yeah, absolutely. So, our focus is primarily on leveraging the data that lives within the document management system, so where all of the precedent and knowledge of the law firm is. And very often lawyers don't know themselves what is in their own vast database, because we're talking about millions and millions of documents in very segregated, decentralized folders. So what I see is more an opportunity rather than actually a challenge is collaborating the teams on the client side and on our side on understanding how the database works, what is valuable information and what is not, and what can we leverage per team. Maybe certain practice teams have more advanced templates or need to rely more on other types of precedents. All of that work, which we typically do in sort of a database review in collaboration between our teams and the client's team, all to make sure that we can set up the integration, set up the product that can help unlock all of the insights from the data and the connection. So I'd rather see that as an opportunity to help clients understand what is in their database and help find structure in sort of the unstructured that is in front of them.
Very good. Words from very knowledgeable practitioners, Jeff Pfeifer and Julien Steele from LexisNexis. It's been a privilege and pleasure talking to you today on the GOLT Talk. Wishing you all the best and thanking you very much for your time. See you later.